Hi everyone, we're going to look at our data, and this is the last step, and I just want to go over some key points with you, and then we will wrap it up, and then I'll work with each group individually. So this is really the end point. This is the place where we all need to be. This is where it gets exciting, where you can actually see results. So the way you read this chart is you've taken your chi-square scores and you've put them into the chart for each class going down here and each question going across the top. Question 1, 2, 3, total knowledge and knowledge and attitude combined. The way you read this is you multiply it by 100, and it tells you how likely it is that the change that occurred was caused by you. So if you move this over 2 spaces, it's 0.2%, 0.2% likely that you caused the change to happen. This one says it's 85% likely you caused the change. This is 92% likely you caused the change. So just to review, whether or not we go somewhere and do an event, a change will occur. So if we give a pre-test, we do nothing, and we give a post-test, there will be a change in the scores. So what we're actually measuring is that change that would have automatically occurred. How different or similar is it to the change that happened because of the event? And that's what we're actually looking at here. The issue, though, is we don't really know what these numbers mean because we don't know if the scores went up or down. So if you're 0.2% likely to have caused scores to go down, that would be a good thing. If it's 0.2% likely you caused the scores to go up, that would be a bad thing. So we have to look at whether the scores went up or down, and then we color code. So I have some numbers down here just to show you. Delete that. So this is number 1. This is the pre-test number 1 and the post-test number 1. It's hard to tell whether or not, and this is class A, this class right here. So it's hard to tell which one's better or worse. So in this case, it's probably a good idea to divide them out. So 2 divided by 15 equals 13.3%. So on the first test, 13.3% of the people got it right. And on the second test, there's a different amount of people in the class, which happens normally. Not everybody's there every day. So 4 out of 17 comes to 23.53%. So this means that in this case, the scores did go up, and it's less than 1% likely that you caused the scores to go up. That's not very good. That means that we're 99.8% sure that this change that occurred right here was due to chance, and only 0.2% likely it was caused by you. So here's the second question. So the first test, this is an easy one because they're so similar. On the first test, about 55% of them got it right. And on the second test, the post-test, 80% of them got that right. So clearly this increased. So this is colored green. This increased color green. This increased color green. And then over here, it's a little difficult to figure out. 4 divided by 18 gives you, this is 22.2% likely that you caused the change. And this bottom number, 5 divided by 20, is 25%. So in this case, the scores went up, but they barely went up. And so your group's going to need to decide, or as an individual or as a pair, however you're doing the data, you have to decide what is the same and what is up, what's a change. So I'm going to decide that anything under 3% of a change stays the same. So this is under 3% change. Therefore, I'm color coding this yellow. So first we just had the numbers, and now we can see, based on the scores down here, that this went up, this stayed the same. So let's look at what that means. So this change, the increase in score, is 99.8% likely by chance and 0.2% likely by you. This change is 85% likely caused by you and only 15% chance. And this is an increase. in this case, it's 92% likely you caused no change to occur. So that's what these numbers mean, and this is what the color coding is. So this red one, it's 12% likely, it's 12% likely you caused the change, 88% likely it was caused by chance. So hopefully this helps you understand what we're doing. So here's what your color chart will look like when you're finished. And just briefly, when you look at the columns, you can start to see some trends. When we look at your test questions, we will look at trends to see what happened. But when you look at questions 1 and 2 on this chart, one of the questions clearly did better than the other one. So one of the trends is that question 2 did better than question 1. My question to you that you would have to answer is why? What went on here that made question 2 better than question 1? Then when you look at question 2 and question 3, it's clear that the knowledge question did better than the attitude. Okay, so if that's true, why would knowledge do better than attitude? So those are the kind of things we're going to talk about when I meet with you individually or in groups or in pairs. So I'm going to try to put up a Sign Up Genius so we can meet and look at your data, and then we'll go from there. I look forward to seeing your data, and I will see you later this week.